Now, when you got the second house and your third house, you need to value your surroundings. What you have to value or offer to your surroundings. Because you're going to make the money in your surroundings. Whether you either one, know how to help people, do nails, because this is a time where everybody doing nails now, everybody making that money, do hair in hair salons, do makeup, also fix cars and things of that nature. Like, pay attention to your surroundings and how you can, like, pretty much try to be good with your hands and shit. Try to, like, utilize ways where you can be specialized on how to use your hands and things and working with the public. And of course, you're going to basically gravitate the money that way into your perspective. But you got to actually be in the frequency, the vibration, and the energy. You got to put in the work, got to put in the energy, the intent work to actually bring these things into existence. So pay attention to your surroundings if you got the second house and your third house. Now, if you got the second house and your fourth house, now this is the emotional sign. So, with that being said, this is how it can play out in many ways. Remember, it can play out in many ways. You just have to pay attention to these areas. Now, I have this placement. So, either one, you're going to receive money by valuing privacy, home matters, or valuing business where you can work from home. Pretty much dealing with family issues, domestic issues, or owning a daycare or business and things of that nature, or being for ACS or some shit like that. Working from home is like one of the mechanisms that you're going to basically embody. So what you need to be doing is paying attention on how you want to be, because you remember, second house is exalted. Actually, yeah, it's exalted here too, and it loves being here too. This is one of the placements that the moon is going to basically, and the moon is basically your mother, your macabre, your feelings, the emotions. So your mother, the macabre, the moon is going to basically want to feel these feelings and want to actually bring these feelings and emotions. So, of course, when you got water and earth here, it's a connection. It's going to basically get hard. For me, the water going to get stiff, and it's going to be able to actually form and construct into materialistic things. So when you got the fourth house, and when you got the second house and the fourth house, this can play out in many ways. Whether somebody pretty much can die in the family, when they just left you with the money because you was pretty much more of the favorite child or the favorite child. It can play out into many mechanisms like that. A death can happen. Death happens every day. So don't feel guilty by association or anything of that nature. But remember, if it does play out in a water sign, that's dealing with death, feelings and emotions. So that's just something you just gonna have to deal with. Either that, you work from home, a business you can work from home, or just working from computers and things of that nature. Look into these areas when you're trying to get the money. It's gonna come in that way. Make sure you're planting the seeds. Fifth house. So if you got the second house and the fifth house, you need to value your expressions, your passions, how you express yourself. Like, be the center stage, or express yourself in a dramatic way, express yourself in a silly way, in a crazy way, and things of that nature. Make sure you valuing and planting the seeds of utilizing your expression to get you from point A to point B, because the money going to gravitate to your presence and your position. As long as you act in these natures and in these energies, everything will be all right. You just got to be more creative. Now, if you got in the sixth house, this is a natural alignment, because that means this is an earth sign, which means structure, earth, things you can see, which you're consciously aware of, the here and now. So when you got this placement, you either going to basically need to pick up you just basically need to find a job, because that's going to basically, that's earth. I mean, that's working hard towards something. So if you have this placement, it's going to be easy, because it's going to play out into circumstances and situations, because you're going to be able to gravitate more, be able to actually attract these things more to you, to the point where you don't even have to work for nobody for the rest of your life. You could just basically find ways and find logical ways of coming up with ways on how to develop your own business, versus the person that was actually planting the seeds in the wrong spot, where by you having a job, you might have 2 jobs, 3 jobs, or you just be able to actually multitask and just do millions of things. So it can play out to many mechanisms like this, versus a person that had a different position. It'll be a little harder for them which will be more easier for you because you got a gift, you got a trine. So these things gonna come as a gift as long as you act out in these energies. If you got the second house and if you got the second house in the seventh house, you need to value your relationships. You know what I'm saying, like your partner and things of that nature. Try to be around them more, value them more. You never know, you might be in a circumstance situation where you was looking for a partner, a relationship. They might just become rich, or you just might, or you might just attract a sugar daddy or sugar mommy. That's how it can play out into that nature too. And it can play out to many mechanisms. Y'all can create a YouTube channel or some shit. When you got to make sure you value this, truly value this person too. Make sure you find it in your heart, but you got to go within. You got to plant the seeds. You got to do the inner work though. This way, you don't even have to do much. This shit just come to you naturally by relating. And the better you can relate to people, places, and things, and circumstances, situations, and compromising, the money will come. Now, when you got this placement in the eighth house, if you got the second house in the eighth house, you're gonna find money in ways on how to value the occult, the mysticism, the behind the scenes, dark, deep desires. Don't let nobody know what you truly desire. As in, make sure you stay down till you come up. Don't tell everybody, oh, I do this, I'm gonna value this, I want to become this. If you valuing something on the deeper side that people don't look into, that people don't go deeply into, this is like basically the water realm, like the mysticism and shit like that occult. So you gotta basically be on some behind the scenes, some occult mysticism. Like you gotta be on some dark shit. You gotta be on the behind the scenes. You gotta like pretty much know how to gravitate. And basically, if you're not really into that shit, don't even play yourself. But of course, you have to be on some behind the scenes, on some psychic shit. This can also play out to ways where money can come into a person that died in your family, or this money can come by you just fucking somebody girl or some shit. Or she just probably was horny. A man couldn't do the job right. You'd be able to fuck the shit out of her brains or some shit like that. It play out in many ways. Also, like intimacy, things that motivate you, intent, willpower, motivation, deep desires, and things of that nature. Or you might just have shared resources where money just come to you. You just got to value that person or that thing and that money to show up. Ninth house, this is where you got the teachers, the spiritual teachers, the people that just go on the internet, make videos and things of that nature. Value your wisdom, your knowledge, your philosophical points of views, or you may have to travel far out of the country to basically work. Or you may just develop it by basically helping people with your enthusiasm, your wisdom, your knowledge. And this is also a fire sign, so you got to express these things more too. This is like enthusiasm. So you got to be more, have a broad perspective. You got to like pretty much travel there. Travel your mind, make sure you, and you know the moon is actually kind of like, this is kind of like an exaltation, but not in that perspective. But you got to pretty much have wisdom and knowledge that you need to utilize and express and go out there and get on board. Now you got the second house and the 10th house. You're gonna basically attract the money by your status, how you're valued, whatever you're working hard towards, a dream, a goal, how you're known. You got a status of helping people. You got a status of doing things or working hard towards things, and people notice your status and people tell you about your status. Check your second house. You never know how these things can play out. These things can play out by you having the right feelings and emotions, and the right practicality where you can actually construct these things and gravitate it towards you, because this is also an earth placement as to where you don't even got to really do much. You just got to put in that work. This is a gift for you to basically inherit. So once you pretty much find a way on how to deal with your status, how you deal with your public, the social media, internet, like however you're being seen, however you just go around be on some cucumber shit, not cucumber. The nigga, what's the nigga name? Kimbo Slice. He had a status going around knocking niggas out. If you basically be in that vibration of energy and basically have a status of being known, you will attract the money, because he was getting paid to knock niggas out. May his soul rest into the highest domain. But 11th house, this is basically valuing your association or your associates, groups, unfamiliar, unknown, unfamiliar places, unknown circumstances and situations. Try not to be too naive, because if you got the second house and 11th house, you always gravitating people to come get you out the house or come chill or associate with them or communicate with them. Y'all might just fuck around. You might just be in a circumstance situation where you just come communicate with them. Remember, you're already in the unknown familiar. So all you got to do is basically, like, whether you're at work or some shit, whether you're working at a job or whether you're somewhere, be a good singer. Be in the circumstance, or if you work for the post office or some shit, make a crazy ass video when you outside, the weather's all fucked up and shit. Make a video of that shit and basically post it on social media. You never know, you might become an actor or a star or music personnel. Or if you outside and shit, if you outside, got your guitar and shit, play your pianos and things of that nature, be outside. You never know how that money will just come. Just like how these people make money when they're out there outside playing with their music and the guitar and they're the unknown, unfamiliar. And you bringing your unknown, unfamiliar uniqueness into the public, you're going to attract money and good fortune. So check your second house. Make sure if your second house and the 11th house, you're going to value this by interactions, communications, and associations. Last but not motherfucking least. Now, this is the unconscious realm. So this is a circumstance situation where you have tremendous. This is mutable water. Let's just say mutable water. And, of course, Venus is exalted in Pisces. So you may not even have to do much. You just got to have a talent of whether you got an acting talent, music, or just pretty much arts, crafts, things of that nature. All you got to do is believe in yourself. Don't self-doubt yourself. Express your dreams. Express your illusions. Express your imagination. Put these out here. Put these shits. Don't put it on the back burner, but basically put this out here and express this shit. Never know how that play out. To the point your ass might be sleepwalking. Your ass in the street walking.